If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's the Think Generational Wealth podcast with your host, Amir Estimo. Ni hao ma. Hola, ¿cómo estás? It's been a while. And your boy's been actually learning some Chinese lately. Learning some Chinese through all this coronavirus that's been going around spreading, this pandemic that's spread out through the world. First of all, I'd like to say, love you guys, miss you guys. Really appreciate the time that you take to listen to this podcast. I value your time. We can get money back. We can never get time. Time is the one thing we cannot get back. So lately, I've actually just been taking a break from all this coronavirus. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of them. Some of them are even motivational, trying to push us through this coronavirus pandemic that's out there right now. And just sitting back saying, okay, you know what, let's kind of let this die down a little bit. And then after that, let me release the podcast. I don't have anything to talk about for the most part. Just wanted to come today and just record a podcast. Love podcasting. I was actually listening to a podcast and I was like, I need to get back into the podcast and don't stop what you enjoy doing. And that's something I really enjoy doing. So I do appreciate your time for even listening to this podcast. So wherever you are right now, hopefully you're staying safe. I know there's a lot of parts of the world right now that's in lockdown, basically quarantined. So this is the new norm, and it's been some countries it's been longer. Here in the States, it's actually been probably, I would say, the last 2 to 3 weeks that we've been feeling this lockdown where everything is stopped, businesses are shut down. Only thing that's really going on right now is anything that's essential, grocery store. I don't really know if there's hospitals, but other than that, I don't know if there's really much. I mean, restaurants are shut down, movie theaters, etc. I mean, even the NBA shut down, entertainment shut down. This gives us a chance to really see what's important. I mean, think about it. When you think about the military, when there's a war or something going on, they're usually the ones that's out there in the front lines. You think about police, same thing. Nurses, I think now I have a full respect now for nurses and doctors. Not that I didn't before, but this gives you much of appreciation because they're the ones that's out there in that front line dealing with this pandemic. I mean, I'm in IT and I work from home. This is great. My business, I get to work from home. It's great, but it's nothing like being in the front line. I'm hearing stories about how some of these the doctors are reusing masks because there's a shortage of masks. Stefan Marbury currently right now, he's trying to bring over 10 million masks to New York. So you hear these stories and it's crazy because this virus just came out of nowhere and it just spread throughout the world. So just to come today, have this podcast, also have to reevaluate to what's my goal when it comes to a podcast. So that's why I say today's episode, I didn't really have much, just wanted to come and talk, share my experience right now with this coronavirus. Also, too, just to hopefully be a different year, because I know there's a lot going on. And actually, I think Amazon ended up, how can I say, there was people actually going online buying stuff like hand sanitizers and toilet paper, but things of essential, and they're marking these prices up, skyrocketing. So Amazon shut that down. I give Amazon a lot of credit. Businesses right now in the States, some businesses are starting to lay off. They're starting to lay off their employees. So it's been chaotic. I think now it's kind of calmed down, but you're still seeing, because now we've had to adjust to this new norm. But you're still seeing. I mean, small businesses are shut down. Um, let's see, we have the government actually, about, I think, Friday or so, they just passed a $2 trillion stimulus package, um, which to help boost the economy up. We originally, from the first time, were going back to our norm, March, I think it was April 15th, but the the government realized that we're right now in the height of this pandemic, so they pushed it back another 15 days. I have a feeling it could even push back even longer to that. Kids are home, no school, daycares, everything is shut down. So honestly, in my almost 4 decades of existence, this is the first time I ever dealt with something of this magnitude. I mean, throughout my existence, I mean, I've dealt with the bombings. I mean, the plane crash, the September 11th. Cold. We've dealt with the Gulf War. That happened when I was younger. But anything of this magnitude, it's really really different. So wherever you're at now, hopefully you're being safe, washing your hands, and doing whatever you can to use this time to be use this time, because right now that's the one thing I've realized lately. And for me, I've started learning how to speak Chinese, Mandarin. Not great at it. Yeah, I know a few words. It's not that easy, but I came to that point. I was if I'm going to have all this time, I better learn something new. So eventually, my goal is to do a podcast in Chinese Mandarin. I speak a little bit of Spanish. Not, I'm probably about 15 to 20% can speak Spanish. I can navigate my way around, but my goal too is even to do one in Spanish. I speak Haitian Creole. I love to do a podcast in Haitian Creole too. So I think it's good because it's starting to make me realize where I can branch out and get better, what other skill sets I'm going to need to really forward this new norm that we're in, and not and utilize this time as much as possible, because I don't know when we'll get this time back again. So wherever you're at right now, I didn't have anything. I didn't. My goal from this point on, I've been trying to I'm testing certain things out, when to deliver a podcast, looking at my schedule, what would be more feasible to do it. Because podcasting, as great as it is. I mean, coming up with something, because I just don't want to be able to just come up with something and not have of value and be of value. Because one thing I recognize, as I said earlier, is time. We can get money back, but you can never get time back. So whenever someone takes the time to listen to my podcast, I hope to be of value and bring something that someone can take, either go use, or hopefully be a different mindset change. So my goal is, since 2020, is just been trying to test out when to deliver the podcast, what works out best for my schedule. So my goal is, from here on, is to deliver a podcast every Thursday and Friday. That's the goal. So that means twice a week, I'll record a podcast and deliver it back to back every Thursday and Friday. Eventually, I would love to do a podcast every day. But again, once I record a podcast, doing the notes, it's a little time consuming. So, and plus, I want to be able, when I have a podcast, bring a value. So it's just not me getting on here rambling on about something, but actually be of value. So my goal is to do a podcast every Thursday, is to record a podcast and deliver it every Thursday and Friday. So you have something that you can listen to. And also really to keep the theme of the podcast, which is think generational wealth. So I've actually started doing some research, about generational wealth, reading different topics, researching on the internet, different ideas about generational wealth. And also too, for me, lately I've been focusing so much more now of building generational wealth. So this really, really is a great time for all of us. Some people more not, but for the most part, I think it's a great time because it gives you a chance to sit back and sit back, whether it's spend more time with your family, whether it's learn a new skill set, whether it's, just something of value that you can do once all this boils down, and it will, all this stuff will pass. When we don't know. That's the thing about it. But when it happens, you can come out better, stronger, and you have more skills that you can be able to be of value to the marketplace. So, as I said today, didn't really have much. Tomorrow's podcast, I will talk about actually, I will talk about a strategy here in the U.S. that most wealthy people are using, which is called the IUL Index Universal Life. So I will talk about that. And then hopefully from that point is just be able to have more value to hear on this podcast, and also stay focused on the theme. Stay focused on the theme. So if you're listening to this, thank you very much. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. Stay safe, and spend this time with your family. Because I even found myself, we as a family doing different things together, spending time, cooking more. These are things we didn't have time to do when we're always always out and about. Now this is giving us an opportunity to be able to do that. So as you listen to this podcast, stay safe, be easy. And until next time, what should everybody be thinking? Generational wealth.